Good day, everybody. Tracy Brown here, and the title of this week is going to be around business and body and acceptance, and kind of thinking about where we're at and where we want to go, if that makes sense. So a lot of what we're going to talk about this week, kind of a metaphor for some of the work we do with our clients and our own probably personal growth work, and how sometimes we're in phases of, man, things just feel like they're cranking and it's flowing and it's not so hard. And sometimes where it's like, oh, is anything happening? And is there anything ever going to change? Or I don't like the way things are. And all the same stuff that happens probably for ourselves in our own personal growth, in our own body image, healing journey, same things with our clients and the same thing in our business. So, this week, that's what we're going to talk about. But today in particular, I want to talk a little bit about, who am I a little bit and how I got to here and talking to you in this group. And maybe you can, part of my journey helps you, maybe it doesn't, maybe, I'm not sure. But I want you to maybe just to know what's possible with grit and acceptance and just to keep going. So I guess that's what this video is about today, is I just felt a strong need to share, sometimes I'm like, sometimes I feel too, like, what am I doing? Should I just get a job? Doesn't happen that much anymore, but I used to have it a lot. And we just all have times where we're just trying to do what we think we should do and we feel confused, and sometimes it just feels easy. So anyway, if you don't know, I'm just going to start from the beginning around my business journey, which I think it just, again, mirrors so much around our clients' struggles, So, all right, enough rambling. I started working in clinical. So just so you know, my first job was in dialysis. So I was a dialysis dietitian. And I took that job, well, let me be clear. I knew that I was not going to be able to be a regular dietitian in a hospital. I had enough experience that I got enough. I learned enough from my internship to know that, I'm not going to be able to walk around a hospital 8 hours plus a day giving diet sheets to people. Don't eat this, don't eat that. I just wasn't going to be able to do it. And so, the back of my mind, I always had this idea, and again, this is in 2004. And so, I graduated and for my internship and started, I literally graduated. I moved to Florida the next week, literally. Did not have a job at all. Moved to Florida. My husband was going to start law school in 2 months here in Florida. And I didn't have a job yet. He's not going to be able to work, definitely the first year. So I had to find a job ASAP. So in the back of my mind, I kind of knew that I wasn't going to be a clinical dietitian forever. I didn't know how long that would take. I had read lots of things saying it's really good to be a clinical dietitian first, to get some good experience, to learn how to be with other professionals. And I agree with that, definitely to some extent, because I didn't really know any private practice dietitians. The only one I knew of was the one I had when I was in my own recovery. And looking back, she was pretty kind of trailblazing, I think, at the time, because she had a couple consulting gigs and she had a private practice kind of like what I do now. And but this was 20 plus years ago. But most dietitians worked in WIC or in clinical settings, and a few private practice people. Now we're all striving to do that in some kind of way. Not all of us, but have some some way of having a practice or a business that helps people, but also helps us align with how we want to live. So anyway, but I got that dialysis job. So I highly recommend, if you're a new dietitian and you're looking for and I recommend this to a lot of my interns, is if you're looking for a dietitian job to support yourself, choose something like dialysis, because it's not usually weight centric. It's very kind of cut and dry in terms of it's very individual in terms of the counseling, but you get to spend a lot more time with people if you love to counsel and talk to people. You're in usually one setting most of the time, one clinic, or maybe you kind of bounce between a couple, but you get to know your patients, your clients, because you see them all the time. So it's a good place to actually practice counseling skills. And for some reason, I had the insight to kind of know that right off the bat, because it's like I get to see the same people all the time and maybe see some progress or see where their behaviors are maybe inhibiting them health-wise. So anyway, I highly recommend you do that because it's not weight-centric and it's pretty cut and dry, and you can learn what you need to do and get kind of competent pretty quickly. Because my goal is to be able to have a job and then to like find some training and learn some skills to do this as quickly as possible, which is what ended up happening. It took me 3 years to get there, but that's what ended up happening. And just to share that with you, I ended up working for another dietitian for 9 years, and she was who provided me all my education, all my supervision. She'd been an eating disorder dietitian and a health at every size, intuitive eating person. She was 20-something, 30-something years. So that had been her whole career as well, working in treatment centers, writing books, all that kind of stuff. So I was really, really fortunate to land somewhere close to where she was and ended up working with her and for her for a really long time. And it was amazing. So if you get that kind of opportunity, take it. If you don't know if one's available, what I would say is ask, find somebody. The reason I ended up working for her is because I kind of bugged her for a while to learn and to, it's difficult to pay for like probably as much supervision, honestly, as we need in the early years. So what I would say is if you can figure out a way to like, honestly be a consultant or an employee for a person like that, do it, because that's how I got experience at, so much experience at such a early stage in that work. So, I basically split the fees and sessions for years and years and years to be able to pay for the level and amount of training I wanted to. So if that isn't a situation that can work for you, the other thing I would suggest, and if you want to work, if you're a dietitian in this population, is do treatment center work, because that's is what you do every day, all day long, and you're around other people who do that as well. So you learn a lot. Those will be the two fastest ways, honestly, to get a lot of experience and to feel really competent quickly. So, but if that's not your track, not a big deal. Again, I highly recommend you figure out a way to, listen to all these videos for the drops of information that I'm really sharing to get more, to do trainings that I have, and that other people that I know who have fabulous trainings as well. Marcy and Fiona and lots of names out there that do really great work. Invest in that kind of stuff and practice it, like you said. So anyway, I'm putting all that out there just to recognize like how I got here was doing a lot of learning and supervision and pushing, to get here. And when it comes to the business stuff, that was a whole other harder, learning curve. And what I'm going to give you some advice on today, not that anybody's asking for advice, because everybody here is totally competent and learning. I'm going to talk about you coaches here in a second, is that, again, invest in yourself and keep pushing, like keep posting stuff, writing and videos and audios, and do what you're comfortable with doing. But I keep telling the people who work with me in supervision for both not only the counseling end of things, but also the business end of things, literally you got to pick a lane and you got to go, and you got to be daily, do something daily in your business, even if it's just 5 minutes. Like right now, I'm doing these videos because this is the mode that I love. This is the mode I think I'm best at. But I also know that like not everybody likes to watch videos and like to read stuff. So I make sure I try to do a variety of things, and I ask questions. Like I did that survey this weekend about that, because I want to know what you all want to help you be as efficient and pushing yourself so as possible in your own business. That way you can help more people, support yourself more in a way that feels more in alignment with your philosophy. So you may find that like people don't like these videos anymore, so I'll probably stop doing that, or I'll do videos in a way that like serves the most people, if that makes sense. But keep asking questions, keep learning, keep pushing yourself, but do something every single day in your business. Even if that means you sit down and you carve out 20 minutes to write every single day. Even if you only write down 1 or 2 sentences and you've got a little meme to make an infographic and you share it, or maybe it's like I'm doing a local practice, that's what I'm doing, then email one person a day, email one person a week, something, because there are times, I had a really hard time reaching out to local people. And I would say, like, Tracy, people aren't going to find you if you don't reach out. So literally, there would be weeks that, like, I could only call one therapist, let's say, or one doctor, and that was the most I could muster. But I made a commitment to do at least one thing. And once you start doing that a little bit more, you can build a little momentum. I was at that place, I think 3 years ago, when I moved to the new town that I live in here in Florida, is that, like, I did not want to do local marketing. I'd been there, done that, in the town that I was last here in Florida, and I'm just kind of starting over. And it's hard, but again, once you just start going and get into it, the momentum builds and it gets less scary and less scary. It doesn't mean it always goes away, but it gets easier. So I highly recommend it. And plus, if you all are into recovery and intuitive eating and eating with permission and cooking well with permission and all those things that we all separately and collectively love to do, if you have a passion about something, it's not as difficult to talk about it. It doesn't matter if everybody agrees with you. If you're passionate, there are going to be people who do, or who are interested, or you plant seeds. And maybe that's all you're going to be learning from your initial marketing efforts, is that, like, you're passionate and you have something to say, and you do, even if you think that you don't. You do, because there are going to be people who need to hear it the way you say it, So that's really important. For the coaches, you may not be able to work at treatment centers, or you may, but again, I highly recommend that you all really start to don't compare yourselves to other coaches or dietitians or therapists that have been out here doing it for a really, really long time. You don't want to be like everybody else, because that version's already out there. Just really try to be yourself. So if you're really science-minded, if there's other dietitians or whomever out there who are more like that too, and you're attracted to their kind of work, watch and learn, but do it in your way. So create infographics that get little snippets of, like, information that's not, like, too much for people to not be able to take in, but enough that people who need some science can, like, oh, that really helped me be able to eat that cupcake today, because I don't need to worry about every little tiny molecule of sugar. That's not going to be a thing. Or, if your community is just super hungry for a voice that, like, isn't all about dieting, and there's nobody there, maybe you're just, one of the reasons you're solely there in that community is to fill that space, fill that vacuum. And so start to put yourself out there in that kind of way. So I highly encourage you all to know yourself. If I can say anything about, like, acceptance, is know who you are, know what your strengths are, and, like, put that out there, put that strength out there. I get told that the way I do things is very nourishing and calming, and what's the other word I get? Like, I just follow up with, people give me feedback and I take it in, and it's like, so basically keep being me. I'm not the one that's probably, I hardly ever give out sciencey kind of information via these videos, because that's just not not natural for me. I write those things in my blog posts for sure, because I do want to back up what I'm saying with some evidence. But when I do these videos, it's really about giving people hope and inspiration, whether you're a professional or a client, based thing I'm doing, is that we gotta have hope that you can decondition yourself from all the oppressive ways that we've thought about food, eating, weight, cooking, whatever, and come back to a place of trust and hope. Trust in ourselves and hope that, like, just because everybody else doesn't agree doesn't mean that you can't do what you need to do for yourself. So that's what I'm here to do, but your approach might be totally different, because people are at a different place and they need you to say it in the way that they're ready to hear it. So I hope this video was helpful. the power of acceptance for you today is, I want you to write down, either below or have your own journal entry. Take 5 minutes, take an hour to think about, like, who am I? Who am I first? Like, what if you were, and I have my clients do this all the time who don't have a very good sense of like why people would even like them. So have your clients do that. Like, I want you to ask your husband, your friend, your sister, whoever, what are 10 things they love about you? I want you to think about you as a person, 10 things that people told you that they like about you, being around you, whatever, and include that in how you offer things to people. So if you're exuberant and joyful about little things, show me that in your Instagram, like that you're really excited. Somebody who I think does that very well, who's in this group, and my brain's not working right now, is Karen. And I love her Instagram because she shows like her love of tea. I just love that. So Karen, shout out to you. That's so awesome. I love what you're doing. I know, and I haven't looked at everybody's, everybody who's on this group. I am trying to like actually look at who you are and what you're doing. I want you to share in this group like what you love doing. So and how you can show that. So she's showing her love of slowing down through tea drinking, and I love that. And that makes me, when I see her Instagram, feel like welcome and reminding me of the priority of slowing down. I just love that. So think about something you really love and show that in a way, whether it's through videos here or in images or in your writing, in your post, or whatever you're doing to help people, online or local, that would help people know who you are and what you stand for and how that can help them. So hope this video was helpful. Please let me know. I would love to hear more about you too. Like, one thing, just tell me one thing that people have told you that like helped you realize, oh, okay, like the way I say things or what I have to offer is really valuable and I need to do more of that. So if you're watching, I hope you watched this video. If you didn't, well, I guess you didn't, but if you did, even write down below for some other people who are in this group or in other groups to know, like, hey, we need to be doing more of this. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.